So in this video, I'd like to introduce you to two new features. We've improved our Autodata integration and we've produced a service interval matrix, and we've also linked Autodata's service operations with our checklists. So from a job sheet, I'll go to Lookup and Service Interval Matrix. Now this screen instantly gives me a very easy to read visual representation of which service actions are required at which service intervals. So at the top of the page here we've got the document mileage. So that's come in this example from the job sheet, but it could also have come from the estimate if we were doing this on an estimate. And the system's worked out what the most appropriate service might be for that vehicle based on that mileage, so we've highlighted it in bold. We've also got the last visit mileage, which if we open that up will show us the vehicle history. We've got a powerful search feature, so if I wanted to know when this was due a fuel filter, I could search for fuel and it's whittled it down to the necessary intervals. These columns, as you can see, are very self-explanatory: the engine oil and filter, coolant, spark plugs, so on and so forth. And at the end we've got sundries. So if there's a marker in the sundries, if you click on that, it'll open up and tell you what's in it. In this example, it's just sundries lubricant. And we've got one more column on the end, other. So if I click on that, there's a pollen filter element. So these columns are actually dynamic. So I'll take this moment to show you some other examples and then we'll come back. So if I click close here and we go to, here's a job sheet for an electric vehicle. So if I go to Lookup, Service Interval Matrix, you can see here we simply have brake fluid, cabin filter. There are some sundries, just screen wash. So the columns that are unapplicable have been removed. If we go to another job sheet, in this example for a Tesla, we look up the matrix, and in this example we've got suspension shims, eccentric bolts being displayed where oil and cabin filter have been removed. So if we go back to the first job, at the top here you'll have also noticed we have the Autodata oil and lubricants lookups. If you haven't seen what those do before, so it gives me the 7 litres of oil, we've got the tightening torques and the specifications, and under lubricants we get the brake fluid, the transmission oils, cooling systems, differentials, etc. So if I select this B service and click close, so here we have the summary page, and at the top we've got the description of the service interval we selected with the time it's expected to take, and then we have a list of parts underneath. So we've already done a lookup through the Autodata API to get the oil quantity and filled that out for you, so I know now that this vehicle takes 7 litres. And the other quantities are set to 1. This is an editable field, so I can simply click in here and change this if needs be. We're also going to add to this page, before it's released, the ability to raise a purchase order for the items listed here. Now we've got at the top, you'll find Create Vehicle Inspection. So if I was to click on that now, we get a message pop-up. So a vehicle inspection checklist number 5 has been created. Would we like to open it? Obviously I could click no. In this example I'll click yes so that I can show you. So what we've got here now is a Autodata type of vehicle inspection that's been created for the service interval of a B service every 31,000 miles or 24 months with the reg, as you'd expect to see. And then the lines here have been dynamically filled out based on the Autodata operations. And if I print this to show you what it will look like, we have added service checklist as a title, and then the dynamic service interval description will be added beneath. Then of course customer details and so on, as you're all used to seeing. So back in the summary page, all that's left for me to do now that I've verified these quantities is add the lines to the document. That will close that page. And if I scroll down, here's the checklist I created. And as I scroll down further to the lines, these are all the lines that have been added with the correct quantities. And of course the costings will get filled out as you actually set the part numbers. So that's it. I think this is going to be a really powerful feature. Certainly gives you a much more concise and clear way of making the right upsell when carrying out servicing work. Really looking forward to releasing this and gathering your feedback.